Hello, my friends. I am trying something different, and I am doing my little chat through Zoom. So the quality of the video is not that great. We'll see how the audio quality is. I have not gotten myself a microphone yet, but that will be coming shortly. So that should be an improvement. But for now, I am trying this out so I can attempt to save the files to my computer or hopefully just put them on Dropbox so that they don't take up space on my computer. And then I will be hopefully putting them into a podcast. That is the goal. So, with that being said, first topic that I wanted to touch on this month is harmony. And harmony is something that can be taken in a figurative sense. Obviously, if you're trying to establish harmony with other people, even a feeling, whether it's auditory or visual, of harmony. And then, obviously, with the auditory harmony, you get into musical harmony, which is something that I'm very passionate about, composing music. And making harmonies is something that I would often just do in the car when I would get bored of singing along to the melody. And I think that is also an interesting point to make. Sometimes you are tired of doing things solo, so you try to establish some sort of parallel frequency that harmonizes with that melody that you've already established. So figurative, but also literal. And something that harmony can also provide is resolution. So we are bound to experience dissonance, feelings of tension in life. And when you're listening to music, if you are paying attention closely, and music in general, I feel is the representation or literally the manifestation of different frequencies occupying space. Sound is just vibration, and vibration is a wave. So the different height of the wave will tell you the volume and or the amplitude, and the horizontal length of the wave will tell you the frequency, which makes sense because it will tell you how frequent you will get that wave pattern. So that's an easy way to remember that. So each frequency is what we call a pitch, and each different pitch is a different note. So there are obviously different ways you can talk about this, different language you can use, whatever is easiest for you to remember, honestly. And like most creative mediums, sound and music can be used to express a wide array of emotions and even tell a story, like words and language. It's basically just a different language, and you can mix it with other art forms like dance and lyricism, and it just creates a beautiful masterpiece. And, when you are using it specifically to tell a story, it requires both literal and metaphorical depth and dimensions because you can't have all the different dynamics of the story with just one pitch. That's flatline. So you need to be establishing different dynamics is really the best word for it, which is, what you use in the music world to characterize the volume. But, it can be taken in a different way. And another thing about music, which is true for language as well, it can be organized and highly structured and simultaneously be used freely without rules. So you can do them mutually exclusively, or you can do them together. Example of that would be absurdism. If you are writing a story that is absurdist, you're still using the alphabet, you're still using sentence structures, but you are not doing it to make sense. You're just doing it to experiment and to create feelings and to evoke emotions. And it doesn't have to have a beginning, middle, and end. It doesn't even have to make sense. And you can do the same thing with music. A lot of people would probably listen to freeform jazz and think there's no structure here. None of this makes sense. But you can actually look at any piece of music and you can dictate it, meaning you can write out all the notes. Would be difficult for some pieces. It's difficult for many pieces if you don't have the ear for it, but it can be done. It can be structured, it can be organized, and the thing is, it doesn't have to be. So, whatever works best for you, whichever form and structure is going to allow you to express what you need to express, that is what's most important. And once you identify structure that you're using, then it becomes easier to create harmony and to decide when is a good time to have harmony or when is it's just easier to build tension so that when you establish harmony, it's even more of a relief. So, music existed as long as sound. The other thing I wanted to point out on that note, because we came along and figured out that we can create music. And then eventually we found a way to organize it and apply our way of systematically structuring things. And that doesn't mean that's how it has to be because sound has always existed as long as energy has existed. So really do whatever you want. But if it's easier to follow structure, then that's what it's there for. Now, there's another thing I wanted to bring up, which I thought just was so fascinating, which I did not know. When you have the circle of fifths, which is basically just taking every fifth note and continuing in that pattern until you reach 7 full octaves of notes. And if you do this mathematically by looking at the actual waves of the pitches, frequencies, and you have the frequencies measured out perfectly, this and you follow this circle of fifths, you will end up being a semitone flat at the end. So even this thing that's supposed to be perfect and just a divine creation, it doesn't even follow our established system of math. So you can either rewrite the system that you use to categorize it, or you can just accept that and basically tweak it a little bit, which is what we have done in the modern times. So when they tune a piano, which has many octaves, every fifth will be tuned slightly flat, just a hair, almost imperceptible to the ear, because not only does this create better harmonies throughout multiple octaves, but it just ensures that you can change key and you can modulate without it sounding off. So I just thought that was really interesting that even some you take it for granted that everything just lines up perfectly and just falls into place within our established order, and it just doesn't. And so you sometimes you have to improvise. And sometimes you just have to use a different system, one that works best for what you're trying to accomplish, whether you are trying to create harmony with others or just do your own thing solo. These things may not always line up, but neither are wrong, and both are music. So just create what you want, what feels right for you, and don't make it too complicated unless that's what you do for fun, which is like what I do for fun. So, yay! I got through my first little chat on Zoom. I really hope that this recording is not garbage and that I can post it because this is an interesting topic. Really just scratching the surface here. I could talk and talk and talk about music composition and theory, but this is just a little intro for you guys with a little science twist. So I will be doing another topic on quantum physics in a little bit. So I will see you guys for that.